Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to our cooking class this morning with Lorenzo Ariza. So glad to have you here, whether you're here on Zoom or here in person. So today I wore the colors of the Mexican flag. I've got the red, the green. The only thing I don't have is the white. So I kind of wanted to get into the spirit today of our Mexican cooking that we have going on. So we usually start our cooking classes with the land acknowledgement. We want to acknowledge that we are on stolen Dakota land and want to acknowledge all of the ancestors, wisdom of the Native people, and the historical trauma that has been caused to our Native relatives. And we also want to acknowledge the labor and the slaves. We want to acknowledge the slavery that also contributed to our economy and the historical trauma that has been done to our relatives that continue to be impacted by that today. So please make sure that you are intentionally supporting our businesses, that Black-owned businesses, that are Native-owned businesses. Also, we want to be supporting our businesses that are owned by Mexicans as well, who we are going to be talking about because we have the owner of Salsa a la Salsa here today. So we will get to Lorenzo in just a minute. But I want to give a shout out to the Sewer Co-op for letting us be here today. They generously offered us their space. So we're really excited to be here. And I just want to give a introduction of Minneapolis Edible Boulevards. My name is Michelle Shaw. I think I forgot to start with that. And I have an initiative called Minneapolis Edible Boulevards. What we do is we teach people who need it how to grow food on their boulevards safely. And so anybody who lives in our green zone neighborhoods is welcome to apply for that, and that'll be open in the spring. Then we also partner with a few other neighborhoods like Powderhorn Park. We have someone here from Powderhorn Park and a few other ones. So you can go on our website or our Facebook page to find out more about that. And then we also offer these monthly cooking classes for 7 or 8 months out of the year. And you can go to our website and find all the recipes, all of the videos that are a part of that. And we also have a number of Spanish translations now that are on there. So if you know any of our Spanish speaking relatives that might be interested in that, please direct them there. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the owner of Salsa a la Salsa, Lorenzo Ariza. I can't believe I did not know about this place until about 9 months ago. And I found out about the vegan menu there. The Emplatanades is one of my favorite things ever. And that's what we're going to be learning today, how to make these plantain enchiladas. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit more about yourself, Lorenzo, but I'm just so excited to have you here. And I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. So my name is Lorenzo Ariza, and I'm around the Salsa restaurant in the global market, primarily the Ocean Building. And we've been there since the beginning. So I am from Mexico, and I moved here when I was 18 years, and I'm 72. So it's been a long time. And so I've been cooking all my life, you know, and the reason I became a cook and a chef is because that was the thing to do when I moved to California. So it was easy to get a job at the restaurant, washing dishes and washing the floor. And I learned to cook, and I worked at different restaurants. And I ended up working for a catering company for a long time. And my last job in California, I worked for Whole Foods Market. We used to do all the food for the delis, 10 stores in Southern California when it was just starting. And then, so my family and I moved here in 1998, so it's a long time, all life. And I worked for a friend of mine who opened a Mexican restaurant. At that time, there were not so many Mexican restaurants. So it was good, and we are very grateful that the community really appreciate our food and we feel very welcome. So I love Minnesota, and I call it home now. And yeah, so I'm just glad. Thank you, Michelle, for inviting me to do this. I love cooking. And how many of you are vegan? 1, 2, 3? No? Okay, you don't have to be vegan to enjoy, vegan food. 2 of my daughters and my granddaughter are vegetarian. They're not vegan. And that's one of the reasons we have some of these recipes at the restaurant. So we're going to make Enplatanadas, which means enchiladas with plantains. In mole sauce. Mole is a very traditional sauce that when I was growing up, we used to have it at the weddings with chicken usually. And the leftovers would be for enchiladas the next day. And so it's really, and I think we have a very good recipe for it, and people love our mole sauce. So why don't we just start? So these are the ingredients: peppers. I don't know if you have the recipe somewhere, but peppers and lots of spices, almonds, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, raisins, tortillas, plantains. And so let's start with that. So first we're gonna fry a plantain. Let's do sure. So these are rice plantains. Some people they like meat plantains, but for this right. We start with oil.
Lorenzo, how do you know if the plantains are ripe? Like, that's one thing I have a hard time with.
Feel it? They need to be soft to the touch. And so if something doesn't work out, forgive me because I'm not used to this, and I don't know if my kid is gonna, it's gonna work out. We'll do our best. Like they can call their stick. So we brown them. So I have them already cooked at the restaurant. Easier for me. And then this will be for the sauce. the other will be to fill the enchilada.
How do we know when the plantains are done?
They're brown.
Okay.
Yeah, for the filling. Be that color.
Okay, thank you.
So then we're gonna do the pepper. We have ancho pepper, guajillo, and these are pasilla. So Brian. I love making this because of the smell of all the spices. So when you fry this, they somehow they become alive, you know, they expand. Something about it. So this I'm gonna add them to the chicken factor. So we're gonna start. And then we're gonna fry the chips. So we're gonna start with the almonds. Garlic. So this recipe is my wife's recipe, and that's how her mom used to make it. They expand and something, you know. It's one of those things that you know when you're like, yeah. Well, if you're a cook, if you cook in your house, you know when things are done before they get burnt. You know what I mean? Right before they start getting dark or smoky or all the seeds, coriander seeds, pepper, cumin, anise, cloves. We usually don't chop the onions and the tomatoes big chunks in it, but here it will be faster to cook it. So it's so do you have any comments or questions? Just tell me if you like that.
I have a question.
Seems like you're shaking the pan up. You ever stir it with a utensil?
Right.
You'd rather.
Well, it just automatically becomes that.
You could do.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
You know,
It's different.
yeah, I guess so. You know, thank you for noticing that. I was now aware of that. We can use this. Thank you.
I think that was reason it turns out better.
Well, you know, it's like when you cook.
Yeah.
It's,
It's the way you do it.
you just don't only collect it.
What was just added?
I'm
into the
sorry?
pot? What was just added into the pot? Is there
Onions and the sesame seed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that was raisins.
Oh, raisins.
So with our cooking classes, we focus a lot on the foods that you can grow in your gardens. And
sorry?
so like, in our cooking classes, we focus a lot on what you can grow in your garden. So you've got tomatoes, onions,
Onions,
a lot of
pepper.
the herbs, the peppers.
Yes.
Obviously, the plantains can't grow here, but a lot of the other things you have in addition.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so this mole sauce is like any other sauce. I mean, people put whatever something that they like or they think it goes better with that. So you can be creative with that. Or, you know, if you don't want to put nuts, or some people are allergic, you can skip the nuts. But, you know, the nuts is what makes it thick. So I'm going to add this to the chicken stack. And then we're going to blend.
It's actually easier that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this goes in the blender. Yeah. Yes. It's good. Yeah, I think we're gonna cook it.
What was that last part?
Huh?
What was that last part? Just finishing up?
Yeah, the rest of it. Yeah, put it into batches.
So that hasn't included the plantain.
Yeah, the plantain was the first thing that went into the blender.
Oh,
After I fry it. Yeah.
okay, all right.
Good for nothing. Okay, now it's gonna be sometime, let it boil until boils and it's the consistency.
What heat is it on right now?
Sorry,
The heating? Is it on like high or what's the
High.
heat? High, okay.
high and then you put it low.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm.
so you see the sauce is thick. We're gonna add the rest of the chicken stack.
How much of the veggie stock did you reserve?
It's almost like 3/4.
Mm.
So that was like the quart that you had there.
Yeah. Yeah, these are both sides. That's how I measure.
Okay. Oh.
So at this point, I'm gonna taste it for fun.
If you want, you can move my stuff.
Over here.
Oh, so now you lowered the heat, right? To make
Not
it-
yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yeah, just until it boils.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't boil yet. It looks like gravy. I'm gonna check the audio for at the end of the garlic. The gloves interfere with getting the line. We don't like to wear gloves, but that's how we have to do it. We say, it's boiling now.
Okay.
Lorenzo, what got you into the restaurant business?
Well, like I say, I started working as a dishwasher because I was making more money than working for a manufacturing company. And I learned to cook there. That restaurant was a coffee shop. The diners, the coffee shop now they sell just coffee. And the diners to be called coffee shop, at least in California. And it was a busy place, and it was the opportunity that I had to. I mean, I didn't even think I was going to be doing that for the rest of my life, but that's how I ended up. And I learned different kinds of cooking because I had a problem with people. Couldn't get along. You know that, right? Told you. So if I didn't like where I was working, I would just find another job, and I went from job to different places. So that's how I learned to cook. I worked at the Jewish deli, a Greek restaurant, French restaurant, Italian restaurant. I ended up working at the Beverly Hills Hotel in California. So, I kept developing my skills, and that's how I learned to cook. But yeah, and so I never thought, well, at one point I opened a restaurant it's interesting, in LA, Los Angeles. It was a fast food, burritos, tacos, enchiladas. And after 6 months, I just had to close it. We were making enough money to pay my rent, my car, my expenses. But one day I woke up and I didn't see the future different than that day. And I just say, I'm going to close it. And I talked to the landlord, and he said, I'm willing to do whatever you tell me to help you. I said, I'm done. So I went back to work for the catering company I was working before, because I was used to make good money, and it was good. So I went back there, and I say I'll never open a restaurant again. Here we are. So at one point we had 3 locations, one on Nicollet, one in the Uptown, in the global market. And so what was different is that back then all I knew was to make good food, quality, and that was about it. I didn't know anything about business or pricing or, getting the help, getting the support that I needed. It was overwhelming for me to try to do a lot. And so after the years, I managed a couple of restaurants, and so I learned to work with people.
You
Yeah.
could leave your place to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's life is teaching us every day. And the more we resist it, the more we suffer. So yeah, I got to deal with that every day myself. Okay, well, it looks like I might need a little longer to cook. Yeah, one of the signs for the sauce to be ready is when the oil starts going to the top. See, almost there. It's getting there. So the oil starts getting there, so you start. That's when we start doing the rest. So I'm gonna turn this. Okay, let me say a little bit more about this. So the enchiladas. For the enchiladas, we use the corn tortilla. And then we put oil on them, so these have oil already. And the reason for that is to, insulate the inside. That's the main thing. Like when you make a sandwich, put mayonnaise, butter, and something to, so the vegetable doesn't make the bread soggy. So that's the reason. And we usually, well, at home, we have a grill, small grill, and we put the tortillas there, and we put the cheese and the vegetables inside, so it smells. Then we put the sauce folded and cover it more so. At the restaurant, we have a flat griddle, and that's how we do it. Put the, so the tortilla gets consistency, and it changes the flavor too. So here, put this in the oven with the cheese and the plantains, and then we'll see how that works, because I never done it that way.
What kind of oil do you use?
Corn oil. Yeah, we use corn oil. But you can use whatever is, what you like.
Did you say you do both sides of the tortilla or just the one side?
Where? At the restaurant, one side,
It's the bottom side.
the bottom side. Here I turn it, so it gets, because they were getting very soft. Okay, so any questions, any comments, any concerns? Here? This one? This is one of the peppers that I didn't put in the sauce. Pepper, yeah, dry pepper, this is called Poblano pepper. Mhm. Well, Poblano is when it's, sorry, Poblano is when it's green. And ancho is when it's dry. So this is sorry. It's the same pepper that is used for the chile rellenos. Stuff like that. Oh, see. Well, I mean, it's good.
The amount that you're making right now is just how many does this serve?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the challenges to make a small amount. And I fell.
Well, it takes the same amount of time. It's like, this, how long do you store? Can you store it for
You put it in the freezer to,
as long?
Oh,
as
yeah.
yeah, it freezes very well.
To make a big batch.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But in Mexico when I was growing up, they used to do this almost only when there was a wedding or a big crowd. So yeah, that was the thing to do. Yeah. And then most of the time for basically it's served with rice, bean. That we eat every day. I mean, I eat beans every day. Okay, I'm gonna start with some of the enchiladas. I'm gonna put some vegan cheese, because these are vegan. But if you're not vegan, then use any kind of cheese that melts.
This is a yummy cheese that you use.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that you recommended, remember? From Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's what I have for a door prize today.
My employees don't like it because it smells strong. Smells like cheese.
I've never noticed that it smells, so interesting.
Yeah, some people are more sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys at work with me, oh, that's the.
Do you have a favorite brand of vegan cheese?
Yeah, we buy it from Whole Foods.
Oh,
No.
Cisco.
Yeah, either Cisco or US Food. US Food.
That's right.
No, I haven't brought it, but I don't think you can get it in the
oh,
grocery stores. But
I see.
can you tell me what brand you buy from Whole Foods?
Oh, yeah, that is BioLife. So
I don't. Yeah, we used to do
you
that.
used to use that.
We used to use that.
This is better, but we can't buy this, so
Well, I don't know if it's better. Just
I like it.
you like it.
Then when you go to the restaurant, you also get a tamale with this.
Yeah, black bean tamale. Yeah, that's because when in my hometown, that's how we eat the mole with the tamale.
And chips. So even if you take it to go, you get a huge meal. Are there any questions from people on Zoom? If there are, if you can type it in the chat. Or you can come up and hopefully we can hear you.
So if you wanna know how long in the oven, I don't know.
It's just one person.
Someone else.
You know, that's what people ask me about. Hello, sure. Eat my food, but you know, because we do catering, and sometimes people, like at our planet, that every year, he orders the day before for Christmas Eve, because we're closing Christmas Eve. So the 23rd, you pick up the food folder. Sometimes, you know, they used to ask me, how long is it like? They say, well, I don't know, it's different in the kitchen than in our kitchen than in your kitchen. It's a challenge to answer. Guess what? Forget to add the tomato.
Did it taste good without the tomatoes?
No.
Lorenzo, did you add salt to that?
Yeah.
But not very much. did
Not
you?
very much. But the, you know, chicken stuff.
Or the veggie stuff, that's it?
Really.
Do you make two different kinds then? You make mole
Oh, yeah, we have
veggie and mole.
the regular mole. Chicken.
Okay.
Someone asked, are the plantains in the sauce? And then if so, how many?
It was a half.
A half plantain? Okay.
From the recipe, but I the color.
Okay.
Yeah, better.
You have to have a pretty heavy duty mixer, blender, I mean.
Well, you don't have to. I mean,
Okay.
you want at home, whatever you have. Yeah. Yeah, anything else. Yeah, we like. Fun, lots of things. Yeah, it's nice to have fun.
So what are some foods that you're going to be cooking for Christmas? For your family or at work?
Yeah, you know, traditionally we celebrate Thanksgiving and make the whole meal, turkey, stuffing, sweet potato, mashed potato, green bean, not the casserole. And cranberry sauce. And but for Christmas we do ham, pineapple sauce and mashed potato. But, it's not a traditional Mexican food, but yeah, that's really every year the same menu. And I love Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Gotta be the big food. Sorry, we will see. How many people?
We have 5 people right now. Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you for joining the class and this is not intimidating. But, for a lot of people, this so that be intimidating. For the tamales, people think the tamales are work. And, we make it very simple.
Well, maybe we can just talk about any announcements right now while we're waiting.
So we meet one and as well, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we still have some time, but,
Well, we need to assemble it and need to get it right before 12.
yeah, I mean, we
Or
go
can
in,
you stay longer than 12?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, I can.
sure. So what was the announcements?
Yeah, do you have any
For me?
announcements in terms
No.
of what's going on at the?
At the restaurant?
Yeah,
Well, there are events every weekend, and sometimes during the week, at the global market. So, events for kids and then celebrations, we celebrate Cinco de Mayo and, different holidays. And, there are so many, restaurants and shops in the global market. So if you haven't been there, please stop by and check it out. And you might want to do a search and look for the calendar of events there. Some different,
What is the name of your restaurant?
salsa,
Salsa?
salsa,
Salsa.
salsa, salsa.
Oh. What are your hours?
11 a.m. to 8 p.m. We used to be open until 10, but with the pandemic, in the global market, Chicago and Lake, it's like the Vietnam global market. Okay, so we're gonna start with this.
did they melt it all?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you like this dish, you can get it off the vegan menu. If you don't want to make it. just
Right.
let it go.
Do you have a lot of vegan options at the restaurant?
Not a lot, but we have a vegan menu.
Oh, you do?
Really,
Okay,
yeah.
I'd say they have.
really?
Very few Mexican restaurants.
I know, that's why.
Yeah, with the Mexican ingredients, it's not so complicated to make it vegan.
And if you don't eat cheese, what do you think of it?
I'm sorry?
Or if you are allergic with cheese, what do you?
Just don't
Don't put it.
put it. Don't put it. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, we put cheese here with our enchiladas, but when I was growing up, no cheese.
Oh.
Or sometimes sprinkled cheese on top, right?
Someone's asking if the sauce is too hot, how can you like decrease it or make it less hot?
Let's see. You might,
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah,
well, one thing, it's not too hot, spicy, but
not too hot. Okay.
And less spicy, you cut on the guajillo peppers
Okay.
or and take the seeds, from the peppers.
Take the seeds out.
Wear gloves.
Mm, okay. Someone's also asking
Yeah.
what the mildest pepper they could buy is or use in the recipe.
Mine is pepper, bell pepper,
Bell pepper
not for the salt, but in
Mm.
general, right?
in general, I think. Or maybe for the sauce as well. I think they're looking for like less spicy options.
Well, I would suggest that they try it like this and then probably cut on the peppers.
Okay. More cheese, yeah.
Might be from my parents. They can't have it as spicy
Oh.
at all.
Yeah, I know some people cannot. But yeah, some people believe or think that all the Mexican food is spicy and sometimes it's not. Not really.
You're just adding some over the top
You
before you
will,
roll it.
yeah.
Is the global market open on Saturday and Sundays?
Yes, we are not open on Saturday, but the global market is working, open on Sunday.
Today at the global market, for anyone interested, there's a app. Lots of different. Yeah. Different patterns. People.
It used to be 2 days. Now it's only- Okay, so now it's time for us to.
Well, so I brought bowls because I didn't realize we were getting a full thing, so I don't have. These are my plates from home,
Thank you
so
for
I
bringing
don't
them.
know. Yeah, but I don't have enough for everybody. So
Okay, let's see.
all I have are
Well, maybe
bowls.
some people can share.
Yeah.
You can share it.
Yeah. Or here it's some
I
rules.
don't. A whole. All right. I'm not gonna eat, I just wanna taste the stone.
Someone wants to know if a poblano would be like considered a mild pepper, or is it more on the spicy side?
Sorry.
A poblano, mild?
Mild. very
Okay.
mild.
Okay, good. Yeah.
With continue. Good. Okay, so we garnish it with sesame seeds and onion. Everybody likes onion?
Oh, yeah.
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 Some people. Okay, please.
Oh, it, that, I'm gonna say too, because we'll sign off here in a minute before we have people wait for food. That our announcements for Minneapolis Edible Boulevards is that this is our last cooking class for the year, and hopefully we'll get funding to do them starting up in June again. But then around March or April, we hope to have funding to do some gardens again. So if you live in the green zone neighborhoods or the neighborhoods that we partner with, please look at our Facebook page and our website to see about applications starting in March or April. So we are so happy that you all were here, and we're so glad that Lorenzo was here to do this amazing class. So thank you again, Lorenzo, for doing this.
Thank you.
And I'll just say the recipe will be posted and sent out to everybody sometime in the next day or so. Session, I just wanted to make sure that we're able to get everything on there for people. So we'll also send out the recording to you as well. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you Zoom people for being here too. We'll send stuff out to you as well. So have a great day, everybody. Okay, so